Hey y'all. So I thought I would take some time to go through what an inversion is. So in order to demonstrate that, I'm going to be teaching you guys the basics of headstand. Headstand is a really great kind of gateway to inversion because it's a good way of, there's lots of steps to keep you safe and also get you used to the fact that you're upside down. Flyers tend to use inversion a lot more than bases do, but it is good for everybody to know because inversion is really healthy for you, even if you don't do acrobatics. Being inverted is a really lovely thing for your spine, for your face, for your complexion, for your elasticity of your skin over time. Isn't that right, Momo? I agree. So we're going to start off to show you just from a kneeling position. There's a couple of different ways to do it. I'm going to teach you the way that I learned, and then there's a different way that I think a lot of people in yoga do. I'm going to start off by bringing my head down and touching the very crown of my head to the mat. Then I'm going to think about making like a triangle with my head and my two hands. So that way I have something good to push into, and I've got 3 points of contact, which is really good for balancing things. You want 3 points of contact. So head down. I'm going to keep my elbows pinned into my ribs, and then I'm just going to roll up, and that's it. That's the start. I'm going to roll up, and I'm just going to feel that bounce through my head. I don't have to take my feet off the ground in order to get the experience of it. Still getting upside down, but I'm getting closer to getting my hips over the top of my head, because that's where eventually we're going to want to be. So we're here. Go up even further. I can go on my toes, and then back down. Still keeping this as my 3 points of contact. And I am curling in with my stomach and keeping my stomach nice and taut. And I'm thinking, push my belly button into my spine. And I'm going to take the next step. Pull one up. It's getting closer and closer. I'm just pushing more weight on top of my head. Feel free to take as many breaks as you need because you're going to definitely feel a lot of compaction in your spine first. Always make sure to keep everything nice and tight, including your neck area. Not tight as in straining, but tense. That way you don't allow your head to flop when there's weight on top of it. Also, it's a really good idea to have somebody there to kind of, especially when we get to this next part, it's good to have somebody there with you to watch your feet. So if you go backwards, you just flop into them, or you can go up against a wall, so that way if you flop, you just go boom into the wall. I don't have a very good wall to use right now. Okay, so we're going to go into the next part. Now I'm going to try to get my hips over the top of my head. And I'm going to give myself a little help by starting off in kind of a mini crow. So I'm going to start off here and just tip a foot up off. Start here, and then I'm going to slowly work towards getting my hips over the top. And then from here, up. I got weight in my hands. Slowly curl back down. Also, I like that when I'm upside down, I sound like Kermit. It makes me happy. So the other way of doing it, that I'm not as good at, is you put your elbows down. You can interlock your hands. Some people say put them down. Some people have them here. I'm going to interlock, and I'm going to push them to the back of my head. I'm going to do that same thing I just did, where I'm going to try to get my hips as close as I can. I'm not as comfortable with it, so I'm only going to go part way. But that's the idea, where you kind of use your hands to kind of brace your head in there, and then the 3 points of contact are your head, your elbow, and your elbow. It's a lot more structural, and that is definitely a great way to go about it. But to get inverted in general, it's just get your hips over the top of your head, and then work there, and then see what that feels like. Because as you get to acrobatics, you do a lot of inversion. And getting used to that is a great way to progress along that line. Start off the beginning, work your way up. Well, thanks for joining me, and stick around on our Patreon for more fun stuff. Bye.